Well, hey, excuse me. Good morning. Welcome to Blue Gamer Bluecast Morning Show. I'm your host, Adam Blue, third plus your video game enthusiast and industry analyst. And today, for April 8th, 2025, I'll go through the latest gaming news, what I've been playing. Seems like there's not really a whole lot. I think people are just focusing on the Nintendo stuff, so maybe we'll find something cool other than that. But morning, Ultronimus. Morning, Chris. Good to see you guys here. Yeah, let's jump in. Let's jump in. What did I play? Did I even play anything? No, I didn't. You know what I did play yesterday? In fact, it's a game that for some reason will not show up on Exophase. Yeah, and it's on the Epic Store. It's that Demon Ex Machina. You know, they announced the sequel. I played it before, and it's super basic for me. And you know, like it's fun. It's cool. It reminds me of Armored Core, where like, okay, cool, you're building your mech. And then when you go out and do the action, it's cool action, but it's not like it feels like I'm in a mech. It just feels like some sort of action game, you know? And so sometimes it's hard for that to be sticky. Anyway, it's weird that the game doesn't show up on here. It's on the Epic Game Store. It's also on Steam, but I think it like came out on Epic Game Store I forget how I got it. It was the old Armored Core devs that made it. That's very interesting. I feel like as these mech games, it's like they're stripped of their heft, you know, where more and more they feel less mech-like and just feel more action gamey, which is kind of the vibe I get from that Demon Ex Machina, even though it is fun to kind of play, but I don't know. Sometimes with Japanese games, they are a little basic. I'll look at like Earth Defense Force, Dynasty Warriors. There's those games where they have kind of, it's almost like the expectation, I just want to blow up stuff for a little bit. But sometimes I need it to have a little more to it. But really, I didn't play much. What did I do yesterday? I don't remember. But yeah, so that's boring. But like I said, that happens. And it even happens in waves where if there's like a bunch of big releases that I'm playing, then after a few weeks, it might be where I'm not playing. Because I went through like Avowed, Rise of the Ronin, so many games, if I come down here, that I had been playing a lot of recently. Rise of the Ronin, Assassin's Creed Shadows, even though, only 1 hour because that was the Xbox only tracks that. But remember that game Dungeons of Hinterberg? I liked it for like one level. That was actually pretty cool. I gotta say, I keep thinking of that game. It's just some of the levels were these like weird puzzle platformy things, and I was like, I don't know. Anyway, I guess there's really not much. Man, it's crazy how many achievements I got from this game. Why don't I just finish it? Anyway, let's move to some news. This was an interesting one I want to talk about first. Is Microsoft's Quake II AI remake is an insult to everyone. So first of all, this person's already trying to tell you how to feel about this without even reading the rest of it. AI is coming for game development. Microsoft wants to make sure you know it. Like, this is, it's interesting how this article's already been written as if it's like taking a stance and is trying to, you know, over the weekend the company released an AI generated remake of Quake 2 and shared it with the world. I took the time out of my day to see what it was about, and as expected, it was a load of nothing. Sure, it runs after about 10-15 minutes of waiting for the game to load, but sure, that's all it does. It's a janky, unplayable mess that feels heartless. In fact, there's nothing more than an insult to everyone who actually cares about the game industry and the history of it. In fact, it's nothing more than an insult to everyone who actually cares about the games industry and the history of it all. That's not true at all. Basically, they're using Quake to kind of show how modern technology can just make Quake happen. John Carmack is known for his use of finding tools to get things done. Anyway, this is a horrible article. I'm sorry, Mike Straw. That's the last straw. Let's see. Oh, there's a Doom article. Ubisoft stock prices fall. Oh, no, this is okay. Monster Energy. That's a cool article. Phil Spencer is excited about future Xbox. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't really have too much on here. So what was interesting, though, was reading John Carmack talk about this, and I love what he said. Hey, Jam Killix, good to see you. So someone's like complaining, like, John, I respect your work and that you've always been tech forward, but this type of design only serves to steal and render other dev work useless. A fully generative game cuts out a number of jobs necessary for such a project, which in turn makes it harder for devs to get jobs. But hey, are you still championing for the typewriter repairman? This typewriter repairman jobs are pretty much almost gone at Quake Dad. I hope you're helping them out, considering that we're already seeing mass layoffs in the industry where, yeah, and that has nothing to do with AI. That is what's funny here. Not only is this guy almost trying to, okay, like when he's saying, the work being stolen, that, okay, then you're talking about monetary value of something rather than the creative expression of art. So in this case, you're already sort of trying to defend capitalism as the only avenue to which art should be expressed. That again, I think these more likely Quake Dad saw someone complain about AI online. Since he doesn't know how to use it, him and others just grab these talking points and just utilize it. John Carmack. Oh, I love this. I think you are misunderstanding what this tech demo actually is, but I will engage with what I think your gripe is. AI tooling trivializing the skill sets of programmers, artists, and designers. My first game involved hand assembling machine code and turning graph paper characters into hex digits. So graph paper people, are they losing jobs? They most certainly have. Software progress has made that work as irrelevant as chariot wheel maintenance. Oh, I'm glad he said chariot wheel maintenance because that kind of drives my point. Building power tools is central to all the progress in computers. Game engines have radically expanded the range of people involved in game dev, even as they de-emphasize the importance of much of my beloved system engineering. AI tools will allow the best to reach even greater heights while enabling smaller teams to accomplish more and bring in some completely new creator demographics. Yes, we will get to a world where you can get an interactive game or novel or movie out of a prompt, but there will be far better exemplars of the medium still created by dedicated teams of passionate developers, just like today. The world will be vastly wealthier in terms of the content available at any given cost. Will there be more or less game developer jobs? That is an open question. It could go the way of farming, where labor-saving technology allow a tiny fraction of the previous workforce to satisfy everyone, or it could be like social media, where creative entrepreneurship has flourished at many different scales. Regardless, don't use power tools because they take people's jobs is not a winning strategy. Now, it's great. And then this guy comments, he goes, John, let's assume you're right. And AI is a tool. Unfortunately, in being right, AI is not simply a tool that allows others to create their own work. It's a tool that derives what it does from other works, building off the back of work already created. I mean, to an extent, yeah, you're right. But I don't understand then what you're trying to say is a complaint. See, the groundbreaking work you did was done using tools, sometimes creating new tools in order to assist yourself in creating faster. That guy just explained AI algorithms. Creating new tools in order to assist yourself in creating faster, making leaps and bounds where others could not. I mean, anyway, I don't know what it is about AI complaints that set me off, but I guess I feel bad because I feel like that person is going to get left behind. I feel really bad, especially if I talk with someone, they're really cool, but then all of a sudden it's like politics, where all of a sudden they're like, yeah, but AI is bad. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. Or AI is taking jobs. And it's like, wait a minute. Anyway, hopefully, if someone comes across this and AI is bothering them in their life, this can kind of tell them, no, just chill. It's okay. Okay. Other interesting things, it was brought up. It was either Autonomous, Jim Kellogg, one of you guys, when we were talking about the camera, how this plant one is probably cheaper. And so that has been confirmed. It actually is a lower resolution camera. Is cheaper and more flexible. So I guess it is more flexible. So I would probably, I don't even know if I'm going to get the camera. I remember with the PS3 when the camera came out, PlayStation Eye, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get that. And then I didn't for the longest time until a game actually used it. And it was that, I forgot the name of it. You guys remember on PS3, that card game that you had the camera that would look on at your decks and then you could play that way? That was badass. So yeah, I guess I would have to figure out then what the function of the camera I would want it for, and then I would decide which one I would buy. But also, something to keep in mind is there's not going to be low stock of the Switch units themselves. Apparently, most companies that distribute them feel like, oh, there's enough Switch 2s. The one thing they're saying, though, was the accessories might be a little light. So then I think it's pretty cool because then this might give others, a different camera they can use in case that one gets sold out. But, Nintendo news has been the main thing going on, to the point where I don't know how many companies are not talking about things because Nintendo news is the big deal. We're supposed to be pre-ordering, I think the Switches today or tomorrow or something, but, that got delayed because of the tariffs. But Nintendo says the price tag for Switch 2 is not affected by U.S. tariffs. And I kind of thought that was true when, they announced the price, because to me, $449 seems like a good price for something like this. The old Switch is still going to be available for purchase for those that want to, don't want the extra graphics. I think Nintendo's trying to keep that in mind. But it will be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens when it's the pre-order comes and if the price is different or not. I get, if the price is different, I just feel like if the price is raised, I feel like that would make people go crazy. I almost feel like they're not going to do that. I think they planned all this stuff out. This stuff is planned out. I think they're just riding off of the online discourse over tariffs and all that. And because I think I brought this up here, or maybe, like when in 2019, this tariff situation happened and Nintendo ate the costs. They were, I don't know. They make money. I mean, they're charging us $9.99 for the Welcome Tour game. You get your Switch 2, it's like, welcome. If you want to learn how to use it, pay $9.99. And since we have 300,000 Switches in the US, that's 300,000 times $9.99 that we're going to be getting. You see, they, especially considering the PS5 had that Astro's Playroom built in. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of, when I see Nintendo in these practices, I almost just want to move on and be like, it's Nintendo. Mm-hmm. And speaking of Nintendo, this Switch exclusive is now available on other platforms. This is Disney Illusion Island. I beat this, although more my wife. My wife and I were playing co-op. It is a Metroidvania, 100%. She liked it because there's not really any combat. Really, it's a lot of platforming exploration. There's a few bits of things combat related that you do, but great game. Great game. Maybe go back and get 100%. I don't know. It feels like Nintendo's trying to do the PS4, PS5 upgrade thing, but make it seem like they aren't trying to force it. Yeah, what is that's going on? Because it's almost like they're making it like the upgrade is some prestige thing. Oh, it's such a big deal. When Xbox was like, hey guys, you could put play your Xbox One game or Xbox 360 game on the Series X and you're going to get it upscaled. Resolution bump, frame rate, just let you know. Microsoft just did that. So I don't know. You shouldn't have to pay $10 for the tutorial. I agree. I don't get it. Okay, Assassin's Creed Shadows' first major patch drops tomorrow, which I think is today. I'm just curious what some of the improvements could be. So let's see. The changes in this update have been inspired by player feedback. Feature several highlights, including selling and dismantling multiple items, the ability to reset mastery nodes, horse improvements, an investigation board shortcut, and then PS5 Pro enhancements. So, from what I played from Assassin's Creed Shadows, still early on, but having a lot of fun. But there was really nothing that got in my way other than just where sometimes in Assassin's Creed games, you might be somewhere that you need to go somewhere else and you have no choice but to spend a lot of time doing it. Now, they did enable this auto follow for the horse, but this is where I feel like sometimes Assassin's Creed games present too much stuff to you to where I can't get anything done. So let's say in the Assassin's Creed game, I had to go from point A to point B, and I'm like, that's going to take a while. Now, if it's Rise of the Ronin, there's usually a way I can quickly get there. But in Assassin's Creed, I'm going to have to take my time. Now, I can do the auto follow, but what would happen if I come across some event? I can, Do I stop? Does it stop me? Um, Also, would I want to stop? Is there some upgrades I could get? Or do I just want to get the quest finished? You see how so many things, and I think that's the issue with these Assassin's Creed games. I think, though, that's more of an issue with people like me, where I think sometimes, like, in Assassin's Creed, when those situations where you have to get to from point A to point B and it takes a while, in some more modern, more newer open world style games, they have options available to where if you really can think about it, you can get to where you need to really quick somehow, some way. But in Assassin's Creed really sticks to that whole take in your time until you unlock the other things for fast travel. But even then, you can't glide. I mean, that's what Rise of the Ronin has, the glide. So with this, it's that thing where sometimes, okay, I'm just traveling from point A to point B. How about I have another game playing at the same time? Oh, like when that Gundam SD Eternal comes out, I could probably play that and other games at the same time. All right, mastery nodes. Yeah, I've actually unlocked a few, and that's pretty cool to hear that you can redo them. Yeah, okay. And I will probably jump back into this eventually. Let's see what else. Switch 2's paid tutorial welcome tour almost made a player fall asleep at Nintendo event. Earlier today, okay. But initial impressions of the game have not been very positive. Gaming YouTuber Jake Randall claimed that someone at the Switch 2 event in New York City almost fell asleep. How do you almost fall asleep? You either fall asleep or you don't. Unless you're dozing off. Dozing off? Yeah. I don't know. Playing it and compared it to an instruction manual. Oh, I see what they're kind of saying. Yeah, so that could be the dozing then. Because it could be to where it is. It's, so like, not like he was partying. It could have been he was partying and then had to sleep. But the way they're kind of talking about the instruction manual aspect of it, of you're kind of, it might be a little mundane and slow, but maybe you might not be that interested. I'm still complaining about the $9.99, but it would be fun to see what Nintendo comes up with when you're kind of exploring the, learning about the system. I don't know. Yeah, Chris, I assume it's because of traveling, and that makes sense. You would think that when you have these influencers at an event that they are in a best case scenario circumstance. So yeah, probably a bunch of partying if they're all at this event. Remember when Parappa the Rapper was the PS1 tutorial? That was a fun way to do it. That's insane. Completely forgot that was the thing. That's crazy because there was the game, but then I remember it being a mascot, right? Wasn't where we kind of thought Parappa was a PS1 mascot? Wow, that's unlocking a lot of memories. Crazy. You know what, guys? There is not interesting news. I think people are just waiting for Nintendo. Wait a minute. Sonic Rumble, is this the Apple Arcade only game? Or is this a whole new game? Let me look real quick. Upcoming party battle royale game. Okay, so this is a brand new game then. Okay, did I miss this? What the? Okay, let's look at this, guys. Yeah, on one hand, I want to say I heard about this, although I could be getting mixed up, but this seems like a great idea. Oh, Sonic Dream Team, thank you. That's what I was thinking, Sonic Dream Team. So this really is a whole new game. Interesting. This is really unexpected. Yeah, if it's like Fall Guys, Rumble Guys, which is the superior off-brand version. In fact, and I might have talked about it on this show, how, you know, my idea for, like, if I wanted to make a fun game, but it's also a mass appeal game, it would take stuff from Fall Guys and Rumble Guys, but also I would mix stuff with like Mario 3D World. Like there's more to be done there, and I wonder how much this Sonic Rumble is gonna. I tell you, this 32 players. This seems so cool. I want to play it right now. Huh? Have you guys played Fall Guys or Rumble Guys? For some reason, I like Rumble Guys better. Those are pretty fun. Oh no, Stumble Guys. I'm sorry. It's called Stumble Guys, not Rumble Guys. It's a lot of guys, or a lot of stumbles and rumbles. Yeah, so and this is a fun one. It's funny because it looks like what we were just looking at with the Sonic game. You just platform through obstacles. You know, again, it reminds me of playing like Mario 64 or Mario 3D World, but it's made to be like a multiplayer, quick, little game. It's pretty fun. Like it almost does the time attack thing, but it's not that it's really time attack. It's just like, yeah, up to 32 players. So they're doing the same amount, 32 players. Huh. Okay, we need to move on because I am still in shock seeing this. Did this just get announced? Guys, why am I so obsessed with this? May 8th. There we go. In a month? Oh my God. Well, at least we get that Eternal Degeneration Eternal coming soon. Guys, like there's not much more news. I don't feel like playing anything right now. Maybe we can just sit and chill for the next, few minutes. Oh, another one of those types of games right here. And it's free for the first 24 hours. Pretty cool. They're called Nubs. Now, it said free for 24 hours, but we might have hit that. No, we haven't. Oh, the first 24 hours of release on May 21st. So, guys, keep that in mind. Free game, May 21st. Nubs Arena. I guess I'll add it to my wish list. Not that it's necessarily exactly what I want right now, but it looks cool. All right, let's see what else is going on. Silence. Metal themed. Oh, this is cool. Survivor's like. You had me at metal themed. You lost me at Survivor's like. Let's look at this real quick. I'm huge into metal, although I feel like I've gotten out of metal. I was just thinking about that yesterday. Let me metal's pretty cool. And you know what? So, again, this is an example of another genre. Started a few years ago with Vampire Survivors. Look at that, 51 hours on right here, and I think that's insane. Came out in 2022. Since then, there have been so many Survivor likes. And at first it was fun, but then it got old, and then some I would really like. Like, for instance, the Kung Fu one they did, the Jackie Chan simulator. They did a good job not making it seem like it was a Survivor-like game because it had like the film reel at the bottom that was like your moves. You're splicing in what moves you're automatically doing. I feel like that was a very interesting take on the Survivor-like genre. So it could be that then when this comes out, it does some cool things. But whenever I see, I'm now like completely triggered by screenshots where you choose from 3 things to do. Like I'm so done with that. And unfortunately, it made me stop playing the Ninja Turtle game, even though the Ninja Turtle game is not necessarily a survivor like the Ninja Splinter's Fate. It's just that as you play, it prompts you with this, and I don't know. I feel like going back to play that game. I really do. The Ninja Turtle game, which I should. I don't have my Switch hooked up to cast that, but it's one of those unhinged days of doing this because you're a Sonic fan who missed Sonic news. Exactly. I saw that, didn't know about it. Now I'm enamored. I want to sit there and be like, where is this? So I wonder if that means it's free to keep if you buy during the 24 hours or after the. No, lately they've been doing this. There was another game that came out recently, and it's strange, right? Where some smaller games will do a thing where it's free at first. I think it's because to get people to play it. Yeah, what was the other game? It was a multiplayer game that came out last year. It was like first person, and yeah, it was free for 24 hours. I'd missed it, but then people were playing it, enjoying it. So then a bunch of other people wanted it and ended up buying it. It's pretty interesting. That was the Survivor Light, I thought. It looked like it from the gameplay. Yeah, the Ninja Turtle one is not full on survivors, but it's just the because I guess you're going from room to room, but then it just prompts you with like the 3 things to choose from. And then so like all your the gameplay loop ends up feeling the same, but it is different. Again, and then it was making me think, oh, I kind of want to play that now. Okay, let's see anything else. Phil Spencer's excited about future Xbox handheld plans. I mean, I think we all are. He should be. It would be weird if he's all like, Phil Spencer hates the future Xbox handheld. He's like, yeah, I got to do this, guys. Switch, ROG Ally. Sabrina Carpenter Fortnite skins revealed. See, this is a person I've only recently found out about because of video game collaborations. Yeah, I guess it keeps me then, I guess, knowing what the kids are into. Nintendo Switch 2 won't have achievements. For some reason, I thought I thought we saw something, but I think it must have been something completely different, right? They had some sort of okay, they had something they were showing. Oh, okay. Okay, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom has them. They would be tracked on the Nintendo Switch app as opposed to the system itself, but they are there. Interesting. All about the app. Okay, well. Hey, Aquaman Dragon, can you go make a GoFundMe to make a new law game? Consoles can't be priced at certain limit. You know the reason why. Interesting. Can you go make a GoFundMe? So raise money to make a game. Or wait, raise money to make a new law that game consoles can't be priced at a certain limit. Interesting. Well, let me know what you mean about that, Aquamarine. Because I do think the Nintendo Switch 2 price is very reasonable, even though I get it. As a Nintendo fan, you're used to lower priced goods. But I think that's why they're keeping the Switch 1 around. What was it Steven said about Tomino and Gundam that applies here? You can't talk down your own company even if you wanted. Yeah, that's the thing. It's, yeah. And even as someone outside of companies, but then brands and working with them, they don't want you to say stuff. And that's funny. Speaking of not saying stuff, so I don't know the details, but apparently there was I know the details, but I don't know off the top of my head. A influencer that was supposed to be in the Minecraft movie. And then one time, I think it was like last year during the production of Minecraft or something, this lady complained online how she saw Jason Momoa be really mean to staff on the Minecraft movie. So apparently she signed an NDA that as an influencer, she can't talk about the cast of the movie until the movie is released. And because she talked about Jason Momoa, and she broke the NDA, the deal was either she would be sued or is taken out of the movie. So to me, I think there's something to be said about, hey, don't talk crap or don't say stuff. But I mean, if an actor like Jason Momoa was actually being rude to people on set to the point where someone had to bring it up, I almost feel like that's more of just, hey, by the way, just in case this happened, et cetera, et cetera. But the retaliation is insane. But then now I think even under NDA, people know what's happening, and I don't know if that's going to put Jason Momoa on under a bad light. It could have been where it's just a bad day for him, but still, you need to be aware of your bad days, and you can't let other people feel those. So funny how this went long, and I felt like I really had nothing to talk about today. I mean, long for me because it is a minute after normally I get off. So yeah, I'll be jumping all. Thanks for tuning in. On one hand, breaking NDA is a no-no. On the other hand, I feel like we need context on what was considered rude. Exactly. And she I guess when she originally stated it, it was right after a cut, he started yelling at someone on staff. Jason Momoa, Minecraft complaint. Valkyrie cut from Minecraft movie after calling out Jason Momoa's on-set behavior. So that's kind of what and again, I'm not trying to get on Jason Momoa. I just find these things interesting because as someone that then will work with brands and they make me sign NDAs and then they lie to me anyway or whatever, it's I saw him mistreat some of the crew, and it was pretty disappointing. It was after a very intense scene, so maybe he was still in character. Yeah, so even she's sort of down. He was just really mad at them that they weren't doing something right, like setting up the shot. He was just really angry and yelling. I was like, this is not a good work environment. I would not be happy working under these conditions. So I guess if she saw it to the point where it's like, I wouldn't want to work under those conditions. It's crazy. If it's like Christian Bale, then it's deserved. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you can, especially, I mean, Christian Bale's not director. He could simply go, director, you need to make sure there's no one, blah, 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 blah. Okay? All right, thanks. Outbursts. I've learned being in my 40s that outbursts are not required. But if it's easy for you as someone to access an outburst, there's probably some more you need to work on. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It could mean there's just more things that need to be resolved. I've gotten to the point where I was never really an outburst type until, further in the marriage with my wife, but like having to then, oh, wow, it's easy for me to just, and it's like, wait a minute, no, you can actually think about what you're saying. Isn't it so weird where this show went? I tell you guys. But that's how it's going to be here, guys, sometimes at the Blue Gamer Bluecast morning show, because I'm not trying to fit any sort of trend with covering games. I'm just trying to cover what I like. So I really appreciate that you guys are here anyway, listening to me, Chris, Ultronymous, even the Aquamarine Dragon, JamKillX. Good to see all you guys. But I'm going to head out. Sounds like she couldn't be. Okay, so Chris, that's a good point. Sounds like she couldn't handle being on a movie TV set. That could be very valid other part of it, because she's just an influencer that has to be on set. When you're on set, it could be, okay, there's this, we're kind of all, our heads are in, we're thinking, we got to do, and if you're not used to that's a good point. So, all right, I'm going to jump out. This was a lot of fun. On the Gundam Explained YouTube channel, I'm going to try to live watch along GQucks if that actually comes out today. And I have work, so I might not be able to do it. I tried to schedule it during my lunch, so hope that it comes out then. So, all right, guys, I'm going to head out. It's a lot of fun. We will talk later. See y'all.